Hey, how y'all doing? Okay, I'm back here and I got a whole sheet full of requests here for videos. And as always, I'll attempt to do my very best and give you some good information, annoy some people, piss some people off, and hopefully some of you like me even more. Okay, steps we can do in the dream state to manifest in the physical. Now, isn't that an interesting topic? Because I'll tell you something. My dream state has constantly been changing, and the reason I want to do this particular video is because this is actually happening to me, believe it or not. Now I want to mention here, again, when I'm doing a video and I'm giving information, I'm speaking from my own experience, and if the title is applicable to what's going on with you, your experience of how it manifests may be a little different than mine. So there are variables here. Okay, keep in mind there are always variables with the information that I give, simply because everybody is an individual and everybody will experience a little differently. No two people experience exactly the same. There will always be variable. So don't take anything that I say in a video as being written in stone, because everybody is individual. We have similarities, and it's when we have similarities in the evolutionary process and we have similarities of expression that things can really begin to manifest. Now, for me, what has been happening lately, I have noticed, hang on a minute here, I have noticed a gradual shift in my dream state reality, where about 2 weeks ago, I got indication that I was going to be given more conscious awareness. I don't know how to put this into words. You know, sometimes when you go in the dream state and you're aware of the dreams and you can see the dreams changing sometimes, but it's like you're standing back, you're looking at it from a detached point of view. And I remember saying it's like a me watching me doing me in a dream state. Well, now that's changed so that I'm actually having, for lack of a better word, what I'm going to call participation in the dream state. First of all, it started out with being able to change the dream state as I went along. If I didn't like the content or I didn't feel it was vibratorily resonating with who my frequency and energy is and or was at a particular moment in time. And recently what's been happening is I'm waking up, if that's the appropriate word, and I'm back in what I call full awareness of my surroundings in the room, and it usually happens around 2 or 3 in the morning. And but lately it seems to be shifting to around about 5, 2 hours before I get up, to be prime time for really good stuff. Okay, I have more fun in the dream state than most of you would have on vacation in some sunny island and have everybody waiting on you hand and foot. That's how much fun I have. And look at the money I saved on tickets and having to go get those booster shots you have to go out of the country. Never mind all that stuff. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, so what happens is now what I'm having happen is this. As you know, many of us who are going through the evolutionary process are experiencing a lot of physical symptoms. All right, and the physical symptoms can be rather difficult. So what's happened is in the dream state, I've been given indication by my own dream state language and expression that the old building, being the vehicle that I live in, is in for a serious makeover, modification, refit, if you will, rewiring, retooling, everything. That has come up. Now what's been happening also is I come back from the dream state and I'm fully awake, but still in the altered state, which is becoming very, very comfortable to be in, because it almost feels like it's going to become a very daily type of manifestation very, very soon. I'm on the cusp, so to speak. So what's happening is based on the physical symptoms that I'm having, and everybody will be having physical symptoms or emotional symptoms or some kind of symptoms of where they are according to their level of consciousness that they've attained. And what's happening is now I'm able to, excuse me, get into this state of mind or being, let me put it, no, that's a better word. Yeah, get into this state of being where I'm in the dream, but I'm still in reality at the same time. And I'm able to have a discussion with that other part of me that maintains the physical body. And the pilot project that I'm working on right now, if that's the right term, is manifesting in the physical improved conditions that I have participated in the altered dream state at this particular point in time. And this is in the beginning, and it's working. Because in this altered state of consciousness, I think what we're learning and what I'm learning is to divest ourselves of our limitations at a level of, geez, this is hard to put into words because I understand it, but it's hard for me to put it into words that are going to make sense. It's almost like even though we're evolving and growing spiritually, our consciousness is expanding and growing. When it comes to physicality and manifesting in physical reality, we still seem to be hung up on personal limitations and belief systems about what we can accomplish. So this stage that I'm in, which seems to me to be somewhere in between the limited state of consciousness in 3D reality and the ascended state of consciousness manifesting in physical reality, and we're in a transition here where I'm changing through experimenting my personal limitations and belief systems about what I can accomplish. Now, they're not, say, miracle changes that are happening. They are changes that are observable. They are changes that are very apparent to me in the physical. And they're happening immediately. And this is the very important point. They're happening immediately as I participate in, I'm going to call it the ascended state, where the limitations are falling away like shingles being blown off the roof, so to speak. And I'm manifesting them in the physical within hours afterward. And for example, I'll give you one that's happened. I have difficulty sleeping more than 2 or 3 hours before I wake up. And it's not always to go to the bathroom, I just wake up. It's kind of a habit that I've kind of gotten into in the last few years. And I decided I'd had enough of it, excuse me, and I wanted to kind of get some extra sleep. So what I did was, as I'm having the dream about changes going on, I decided to participate directly in the dream and actually suggest to myself that I needed to manifest a longer stream of sleeping. Now, I realize at this time there are a lot of people who have been conditioned by whomever, whatever, to wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and this is a very popular theme. And I think a lot of people have got locked in to that particular aspect of themselves through it happening through repetition. They've now gotten locked into it. and they wake up every night whether they want to or not. At that same time, and a lot of times you can't get the wheels turned off. So now what's happening is we need to learn to be able to manifest control of the physical body, not only when it's sleeping, but also when it's living in physical reality at the same time. So another thing that I found out that I'm able to do is I'm able to make course corrections, if that's the appropriate word, in regards to manifesting certain things in physical reality. For example, recently I've been going through a very, very intense purging and cleansing that has been almost more than I can bear physically. It consisted of emotional pain, mental pain, and also physical pain, all combined in one. And what I was able to do was to manifest in this ascended state between sleep and conscious or reality, was participate in a dream, my participation in a dream, where I dictated the content or the outcome of the dream. The dream just didn't manifest through the auspices of higher self or divine, whatever you want to call it. So what it tells me is I personally, and I can't speak for anyone else, have now reached the point where I have developed the ability to be able to participate in combination with higher self and with oversoul, if you will, to create and manifest in physical reality. And I'm being given the freedom because I believe I have developed the authenticity, the responsibility, and the proper characteristic personality traits to be able to do so. Now, somebody's going to say, well, what particular personality traits are you talking about? The very first thing that's going to come to my mind when I answer that question is, say, maturity. If you take a look around in the spiritual community, and again, this is not a criticism or a judgment of anyone, it is simply an observation. We have a lot of people in the spiritual community, especially in the twin flame community, who are going through the evolutionary process, who are experiencing heart center activations, and they're reacting to them based on old belief systems and ideologies. They don't have spiritual maturity. They don't have the characteristic, the authenticity, and the maturity, or the wisdom to understand beyond their locked-in belief systems. So therefore, they're immature. They're not spiritually mature. So they have to develop the personality traits that leave behind the illusions of belief systems in regards to love, relationship, and sexuality. And not only that, many other things that compose them as an individual in a state of consciousness. I hope I'm not going too fast for you here. So what this means is, literally, I'm being given back the ability to actually co-create, literally. Now, it's in its infancy, but I know it's going to grow and evolve. So what it does for me personally is it reminds me constantly to be very, very careful what I think about, especially during reality time in three-dimensional reality. I find I'm exercising more focus and discipline and not letting my mind, if that's the appropriate word, wander off and think about junk. I think a lot of people waste an inevitable amount of time thinking about totally useless and frivolous things during their daytime hours, their waking state. That if they would get more focused and not allow their mind to wander like a wild horse as society dictates and wants us to do, and not allow others to continue to modify our behavior, pay attention, to their convenience of what they would like us to be, we are given back our powers of being co-creators. This is what is happening to me in the dream state. Now, does this make sense or what? Of course it does. It's not rocket science. I came to this conclusion through logical, intellectual deductions, not before this happened, not during it happened, but after the fact, when I went back and I took a look and I realized what was happening. There is a place for the intellectual capacity. The intellectual capacity is the voice of the soul, your inner self, your inner child, your higher self, your oversoul, whatever label you want to use. And when you reach that level of maturity of having the wisdom to know the difference, and the personality traits of authenticity, sincerity, nurturing, and self-love, you are given back your co-creative abilities. I've also noticed that in one particular dream state, I knew that I was going through a period that was very, very important to me in my development. And I was not in a position or a situation where it would be good for me to be doing clients and opening myself up when I'm in a very vulnerable state to the energies of other people, even be of service or whatever. And what happened is in the dream state, I saw, in participation with all of my brothers and sisters in word ones, that in participating with my spiritual growth, that in many cases higher self and whomever, whatever, over soul doesn't really know or perceive or sense the activities that I might be going through in the physical, contrary to what a lot of people may believe. So I made them aware of my condition, and I added in as a manifestation that something should happen that I don't have clients at that particular point in time. And inevitably, it manifested. All of them, a good number of them, didn't participate in their agreed time frame because something came up in their life. Now, some could say, well, that's just coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. When people use the word coincidence, it's simply because they're ignorant of the mechanics. I don't mean ignorant per se, but ignorant of the mechanics of consciousness and the manifestations of co-creative powers and abilities. That's all. Understanding. So at this point, I am very certain I'm not the only one going through this. There's got to be quite a few of you out there that are also going through this. And I think this is a necessary stage prior to going in to what I call an ascended state of consciousness. Now, an ascended state of consciousness is a perennial state of consciousness that is much different than the 3D limited perspective of consciousness that we're manifesting now. I suspect, with a reasonably good degree of accuracy, that there's going to be a number. I've heard one person that I respect their opinion and their information say 20 million of us on the planet, which is basically a drop in the bucket, literally, when you think about it, of 7 or close to 8 billion people on this planet. 20 million is their number. My number of those that are going to experience and live in a perennial state of ascended consciousness in a body physical that's going to be attuned to that particular thing. So therefore, my suggestion to those of you who understand what the hell I'm talking about is to pay particular attention to, if you're in this stage, manifesting co-creative abilities to assist with the body moving in to the stage of being able to contain, manifest, emanate that state of consciousness in a body physical, which is no longer really a body physical, but a body physical containment for light consciousness, that is there, and now you get to participate in assisting in doing that. So this is not a time to sit on your hands and do nothing and say, oh, well, it's all going to happen by osmosis. It's not. It's now time for some, as you're reaching this state of ascension, okay, and again, if I refer to the state of ascension, for those of you who have experienced a bubble of state of consciousness yourself, or with another person, and you had that particular perennial state of consciousness for a short period of time or a longer period of time, that's what you're looking at an individual level. The other person is irrelevant, but that's what you're looking at an individual level. So in order for that to happen, the body physical has to be able to contain that. The body physical is what you need to be addressing at this particular point in time, and this is what I'm addressing because I'm older. And I'm very, very sensitive and very, very empathic. I need to retool, refocus, rebuild, rewire the body physical so that it can maintain the body of light in physical reality with the state of consciousness that has the personality traits that can maintain it. Pay attention to all that I'm saying here. It's very important for a whole lot of people out there at this particular point in time. Another suggestion that I would have for other people at this point also is, even though you're experiencing this in the dream state and you're beginning to co-create by changing and modifying things around at your discretion with the participation of the other aspects of you, I would also suggest, pay attention, in your regular daily meditations, that you start seeing yourself in the heart center chakra as you would like to be, or pretend, if you will, see yourself in an ascended state of consciousness that you think or create or believe might be you. In other words, fantasize what you think you might look like, feel like, or be like in a perennial state of consciousness in a body physical that can maintain it on a continual basis. Meditate on that one. This is important, very important. You do this in your meditations. Your state of meditation is a state of consciousness that is similar to, but unlike the dream state. You must bring the two of them together. And the meditation you do in your daytime, whatever, is very important that you see it, because you're setting a template or a goal that your other self can create, manifest, and co-create in the dream state, which you now participate in on a regular basis, and it can manifest through the physical. Now you will notice that I have not mentioned about manifesting money or manifesting material things. Those are on a list of 25, 24, and 25. Those are not important. What is important is the perennial state of consciousness, the state of the physical body, and the state of your being, and the development and focus and maturity of the mind, being you in physical reality at this time. Now, how did that grab you? Quite a mouthful, wasn't it? Some of you are going to have to go back and listen to this 3 or 4 times because you'll miss points. But don't forget the meditation. Down the road, in a bit, I will do a meditation on exactly this type of thing on a different platform, and a limited number of people will be invited there, and it won't be for free. You'll have to pay me a little fee to do this. Okay? Fair enough? All right. Everybody have a great day. Keep smiling, even if it hurts. Talk to y'all later. Bye now.